tent church. That's what he lived in. I've told you about the girl who was stolen. I've told you about the girl who was dead. And I'm going to tell you about the boy who wasn't hungry. What was his name? I don't know. Where did he live? I can't tell you what town he lived in. I can tell you what country he lived in. Some people call it Palestine. Some people call it Israel. How old was he? Well, I can tell you this might have been 6. You're 6. And he might have been 7. And he might have been 8, but he wasn't 10. Somebody's going to ask me afterwards, how do I know that? Well, can I just talk to grown-ups a moment? Is that right? Yeah. There are different Greek words used for children, and it's a Greek word for a small boy or a young boy, but not a little boy or a big boy. So he could have been 6 or 7 or 8 or even 9, but he wasn't 10. And he was in a crowd, mostly men, but there were some ladies there, and there were some other boys and girls there, and it was a crowd which had been there from very early in the morning. So what do you eat when you get up? What do you call that meal? You don't have one, do you? What's the first time you eat? What do you call it? Breakfast. Yes, they had breakfast, they had it very early. Now, what do you call the meal in the middle of the day? I'll tell you what I call it in a minute. What do you call it? Lunch. Lunch, yeah. That's what I call it. But some people call it dinner. And some people don't. And some people call it, I don't know, they put all sorts of... And people brought their lunch with them, and almost everybody ate it, but this boy didn't. And then it went on all afternoon, this crowd all together. I'll tell you why they were there in a minute. And they come to, what do you call the meal you eat in the end of the afternoon or the beginning of the evening? What do you call it in your house? Tea. Yeah, that's what I call it too, but some people call it dinner. And everybody there didn't have any tea, didn't have any dinner. They'd run out of food, except for this boy who hadn't eaten anything all day. Well, why were all these people together? There was lots of men, over 5,000 of them, and ladies and children, and everybody had eaten everything they had. Nobody had anything left to eat except one boy who was 6 or 7 or 8 or maybe 9, who hadn't eaten anything at all day. Why hadn't he eaten his meal? Why do you think? Well, why were all these people there? They were there because Jesus was there. Some of them were ill, and they wanted Jesus to heal them, and he did. And some of them were hungry, but not in their body, they're hungry inside them. And they wanted to hear the word of God. They wanted to hear about God and heaven and how to get there and how to live as a Christian. And they just wanted to hear Jesus talk to them. And so they listened and listened and listened. And this boy sat near the front. You sit near the front, don't you? Yeah. That's a good place. Do you know, if Jesus was here today, and physically here, look, a lot of you folk would be at the front. Why did he sit at the front? So he could hear, and so he could see, and so he could not miss anything. And it was so interesting and so wonderful. I mean, it's wonderful, isn't it? Here comes a blind person, and Jesus speaks to them or touches them, and now they can see. And here comes a person who can hardly walk, and Jesus speaks to them or touches them, and now they can jump. Isn't that amazing? And then there's all this wonderful teaching. How do we know he sat near the front? Well, I'll tell you. Because Andrew, one of Jesus' disciples, spotted him straight away. And you don't spot people unless they're at the front or the very back. We spot the folk at the very back, by the way. There's a reason for that. Because you're the naughty ones. Usually. always. Andrew noticed that the boy hadn't eaten his lunch. Now, when I was young, I used to be young, do you know, I was 6 once for a whole year. And then after 6, I was 7 for a whole year. It's great, isn't it? Anyway, we won't go into that right now. My mum would say, school holidays, here's your lunch, get out and come back at tea time. I had lots of brothers, so that was okay. We all went off together. And what did we have for lunch? Well, we had sandwiches. But my favourite, marmalade and cheese together. And we had an apple. And if it was a really good day, we had crisps. But that wasn't really very often. And then we came back at tea time. This boy, what did he have for lunch? He had 5 rolls, baps, or whatever you call it. And they weren't very big. Can you think of a tennis ball? How big's a tennis ball? Like that? Can you think of a ping pong ball? Yeah. Well, each roll was bigger than a ping pong ball, but not as big as a tennis ball. Okay? He had 5 of those, and he had 2 fish. Do you like fish? I eat fish every day. I've had fish already today. Every single day. I eat fish. I love fish. Jesus loved fish, but we won't go into that today. Yeah. And that's what he had for his lunch, but he didn't eat it. Because it's also very interesting what was going on. The disciples said, Jesus, send the people away. They're so hungry. They've been here all day. There's no shops around here. It's a really deserted place. They need to go off and buy some food because they're all going to faint if they don't eat something soon. And Jesus said, you give them something to eat. We can't do that. Lord, if we just had 7,000 or 8,000 pounds, we wouldn't be able to buy enough food to feed all these people. Give them something to eat. No, we can't do it. And then Andrew said, there's a boy here. He hasn't eaten his lunch. He's got how many loaves? 5. How many fish?
2.
2, and they were silly little fish. Well, what good is that? And do you know what Jesus said to the boy? Would it be all right if I took your lunch? And the boy said, that'll be okay. Jesus took the loaves, he looked up to heaven, he prayed, said to the 12 disciples, come here. Take some, take some, take some, take some. And he did the same with the fish. And as the disciples went round, they gave some bread to you. There was still enough left. And they gave some bread to you, and there was still enough left. And they gave some bread to you, and there was still enough left. And they gave some fish to you, and there was still enough left. And there was more and more and more and more and more. Because Jesus had touched it. And everybody ate until they were
Full.
Exactly. Even the boy who'd given his 5 loaves and 2 fishes. You can't fill a boy with 5 loaves and 2 fish. Not ping pong ball, that sort of size. You can't fill a boy with that. And he was full as well. Do you think he minded giving away his dinner to Jesus? He had nothing left then, did he? Do you think he minded when he gave everything he had got to Jesus? No, he didn't mind at all, did he? And he didn't go home hungry, did he? And when the loaves were being given out and everybody was eating, he was thinking, Jesus did that with my loaves, my dinner. When everybody was eating fish, Jesus did that with my fish. Isn't he wonderful? And he went home thinking to himself, only God could do that. And I didn't mind at all giving everything to Jesus. It's always worth it when you give everything to Jesus. Thank you for listening to me.